Amazing peace in the Middle East. Trump travels to Israel the day that 20 live hostages are released after being held in tunnels for over 700 days and is hailed by the Knesset. And today we're going to watch Benjamin Netanyahu as he speaks to the Knesset before he actually introduces Donald Trump. And Pastor Jason Georges and I are going to give a bit of commentary on what to listen for, how your ear is tweaked to the biblical phenomena that may be prophetically fulfilled in these events. And so, Pastor Georges, we'll take a listen and we'll stop it when we want to, or we'll just speak over. And
yeah, a little bit different format for the Bible Nation Society podcast.
Yeah.
Glad everyone's here.
Yeah.
The Bible is what do we?
I say the best culture is the Bible culture. It's proven and it
Right,
works.
there you go. That was your line.
Good. That was my line.
That was
Don't
your
try
line.
my line.
No, I'm sorry. I
You
didn't
mess
want
up.
to steal your line.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought it would be great to do a little response video to this.
Yeah.
Netanyahu, I've watched this. Have you had a chance to watch this one all the way through?
I've just watched ins and outs, so this
Okay.
would be great.
So, yeah,
we've never done this, although this is a very popular.
Yeah. No, I think it's the way to do it. But I think I watched the full of Netanyahu, and he says some very interesting things that ought to make Bible advocates' ears perk up. And so I think this will be good, not only just to respond to it, as a historic event, but also
Just for our listeners
to
to
train
hear.
our listeners. Like, well, when we listen to stuff, what do we listen for?
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a good exercise here. Thanks, Jack, for putting it all together for us.
What are we standing up for? The ability, the freedom to do what's right as God defines that right.
God's the ultimate author of liberty.
We don't want government to stand between us and our freedom to do what is right.
Herzog and his wife Michal, and the great honorary guests, and headed by our great friend, the President of the United States, President Donald J. Trump.
You know, I think this is the first time that Trump has been invited to speak at the Knesset. Obviously, his first term, he moved the U.S. Embassy to Tel Aviv. I mean, to Jerusalem.
To Jerusalem, our eternal capital. Welcome to Israel in this moving day, exciting day, that will be inscribed in the history, on the annals of Israel, and you too, Mr. President, will be inscribed in the history of our nation.
That's significant.
And you
Yeah.
are already inscribed in the history of the world. And we remember our friends. We know your part, your important part, and the determined part of the return of the hostages in this day.
It's amazing that the political left and right from Israel are both there acclaiming him.
Right.
And many Arabs as well from many nations are saying similar things.
Return back
Yeah.
to us.
Netanyahu is speaking Trump's love language right now.
Right.
And this second term has really been about legacy. His perspective has been
Yeah.
to leave a legacy.
How long we've waited for this moment, and we are committed to return everyone. And I want to thank you personally, and on behalf of the whole nation. Thank you, Mr. President, President Trump. Thank you, Mr. President.
Do you think President Trump gets tired of that kind of a claim?
No. He just soaks it in. Look at him. Oh, look at him. He
Yeah.
just soaks it in.
Now, I know that the teleprompters are working well, though I'm not using them,
UN reference.
but I'm not sure about the translation. So I'll say words in English. President Trump, the Knesset welcomes you and your distinguished delegation to Jerusalem, our eternal capital. This is your first visit to Israel. Since you recognize Jerusalem as our capital and moved the embassy here, thank you, President Trump, for that.
That is a shift in eschatological importance of recognizing Jerusalem as the capital.
Absolutely. It's huge.
It's huge, yes. That was monumental first term.
Yeah. With the Accords the first term.
There are many other reasons to thank you since your last visit here. Thank you for recognizing Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights.
Yes.
Yep.
The West Bank is next.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's a very Abrahamic covenant, the land.
Yes.
Thank you for standing up to the lies against Israel in the United Nations.
That was just fun to watch.
It was. Trump lambasted everybody at the UN.
Thank you for recognizing in your 2020 peace plan our rights in Judea and Samaria, the ancestral homeland of the Jewish people.
He's sitting there like the Don of the Godfather, almost, you know?
Thank you for brokering the historic Abraham Accords. Abraham, Eskimei Abraham.
So Abraham Accords reference the children of Abraham, not necessarily the Abrahamic covenant.
Withdrawing from the disastrous Iran nuclear deal. Thank you for supporting Operation Rising Lion and for your bold decision to launch Operation Midnight Hammer. Boy, is that, you gotta hear this.
Yeah.
We're talking about Iran now.
Yeah. Netanyahu's been trying to do this for 20 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is the most fitting name ever named for a military operation because a little after midnight, you really hammered them.
This speech really is
Trump-
also the victory lap for Netanyahu.
Yes, it
My
is.
friends, this is only a partial list, but it's enough to affirm what I've said time and again. Donald Trump is the greatest friend that the state of Israel has ever had in the White House.
That's significant.
Very.
He who blesses Israel, Abraham will be blessed, and who curses, and so, there is reason why he's saying that, and there's a reason why that covenant has shaped U.S. foreign policy concerning Israel. That has been his goal, and I would say
Yes.
that's a result of influence around him,
Yeah.
evangelical influence around
Yes.
him.
No American president has ever done more for Israel. And as I said in Washington, it ain't even close. It's really not a match. Mr. President, today we welcome you here to thank you for your pivotal leadership in putting forward a proposal that got the backing of almost the entire world. A proposal that brings all our hostages home.
So, we talk about the Antichrist quotient, and Trump's quotient is going up right now as he speaks.
Oh, yeah.
Our objectives.
Because greatest friend to Israel, friendships that will be broken,
That
Right.
opens the door to an historic expansion of peace in our region.
Peace.
global
and
peace,
beyond our
Peace,
region.
peace, when there's really not any peace.
right, and
Yeah.
coalition of peace,
I am committed to this peace, and together, Mr. President, we will achieve this peace.
Right after this, he goes to Egypt and meets with world leaders and Arab leaders,
right,
and Netanyahu is not invited.
no.
The
So-
Abraham Accords.
It's like playing both sides of the...
Mr.
You know,
President,
I saw that one as well. You know what I didn't notice was what was the head count of how many nations were represented?
that war
Because
began
if it was
on
10
October 7th.
Yeah, it was more than 10.
Okay,
but
because
yeah,
if
yeah.
it was 10, right.
Yeah,
You always tell me, and you tell the world, remember October 7th.
yeah.
Mr. President, we remember. We remember the thousands of Hamas terrorists who stormed into our towns and kibbutzim.
October
We
7th
remember
on the lunar
100
calendar,
people Hamas
it was
savagely
2 years
slaughtered in
later,
cold blood.
and it was this day. It was the
Including
last
thousands
day
and
of
dozens of
Tabernacles that he's there.
We remember
So that's
entire
significant
families burnt alive,
because the next day,
burnt alive as
Simchat
they
Torah
embraced each other.
is the picture of the millennial
We
age,
remember
both to
the
Jews and to
beautiful young
evangelicals.
Israelis brutally
And so
gunned down
ushering a new
at the
golden
Nova
age
Music
is something that
Festival.
Trump says a lot.
Yeah.
We remember the hundreds
Especially
of our
regarding
citizens
the
who
peace.
were dragged into the dungeons of Gaza including 12 Americans, men and women, young and old, babies and elderly Holocaust survivors. My friends, Mr. President Donald, these monsters take babies as hostages. In response to this barbaric attack on October 7th, Israel did what it had to do. With indomitable courage, we set out to defend our people, to defeat our enemies.
Now, Trump's very
and release our
transactional,
hostages.
and you can actually kind of see that he's a little annoyed with the tone that Netanyahu's taking, because he just brokered peace. Don't be calling them baby killers right now,
Israel
but that's what they are.
achieved
Right.
amazing victories over Hamas
Yeah, he's got to.
and the entire
Netanyahu's got to put an
terror.
asterisk
Yeah.
on the thing.
Sinwar, Dev, Hania, Nasrallah, Assad, they're all gone.
He's got to go to Egypt now. He's
Right.
got to go to Egypt after this, right?
Well, Trump's like, don't hurt my negotiating power on the other side.
Yes.
So that's why he's not, fist pumping or anything like that.
Iran's nuclear weapons and ballistic missile program with Europe could enormous help, Mr. President.
So,
Roll back. Half the Houthi leadership wiped out. But the price of this victory, the price of these victories, has been heavy. Nearly 2,000 of Israel's finest were lost, nearly half in battle. They left behind parents, spouses, siblings, and children. Their love and laughter, their promise and potential were lost forever. To the families of our fallen fighters, many of them are here, I say, I know the depth of your pain. I know the inconsolable grief that will accompany you for the rest of your lives.
So he's referring to his losing his brother in the, what was it, the 6-Day War?
No, it was the raid on Entebbe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of these heroes, our nation
Uganda.
will survive.
Yeah. He lost a brother in military
Because of
action.
these heroes,
That's
our
why
nation
he's
will
called
thrive.
Bibi. It means little brother.
And because of
Yeah.
these heroes, our nation will have peace. Mr. President, thousands of our brave soldiers were also wounded, suffering terrible blows to body and soul. Brave soldiers like Ari Spitz. Ari is an American. Ari is an American Israeli who was injured
So they're referencing a Israeli soldier that holds dual citizenship, Israeli American. We have some missionary friends
Israeli
that do that,
who was injured in
that are
Gaza
Have
over there,
dual
citizenship. Their kids have fought.
Two of Ari's comrades were killed in this action, and 10 were injured. Ari was presumed dead, but made a miraculous recovery despite losing 3 limbs. Ari, stand up for a minute alone. Stand up. There you go. There. Ari.
He's standing without 3 limbs.
You are the spirit of Joshua. You are the spirit of David. You are the spirit of the Maccabees. You are the spirit of Israel. I salute you. We all salute you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Netanyahu it's a good example of how the biblical narrative defines their thinking and their
Yes.
culture, and
There's a Druzy guy right there with
Yeah.
the white hat on.
the spirit of Joshua,
Yeah.
the spirit of David, the spirit of the Maccabees.
And because they all serve in military service, male and female,
Right.
that's their language.
Yeah.
Netanyahu was part of the equivalent of their SEAL team.
Yeah.
He was part of that.
Sabine lost her husband and her oldest son on October 7th. She is the mother of 3 other boys. 2 of them, Cohen and Shai, witnessed their father jump on a Hamas grenade to save his 2 sons. We all saw the film of those 2 boys crying out in pain, "Father is dead. Why? Why did God save me?" Mr. President, my friend Donald, I've seen some very tough things in my life. But I couldn't bring myself to watch those boys suffering again. So I didn't see this film except once. Yet Sabine, their mother, has had the strength and fortitude to show this film across the world. And my wife Sarah and I asked her, "Sabina, how do you do it? Why do you do it?" And she answered, "I do it to show the entire world the monsters Israel is fighting and the justice of our cause." This is what she's doing once again in Los Angeles. Sabine, you can hear me now. So I want to tell you on behalf of all of us, you embody the spirit of our biblical heroines, Deborah, Ruth, and Esther. Right. You too are the spirit of Israel, and we all salute you.
So it's in their psyche.
Yeah.
It's also utilized for political expediency.
Used to be in our psyche.
Yeah, it used to be in our psyche. Yeah. Very much. These characters are very real to them.
Mm-hmm. Mr. President, you asked me on our many conversations during the 12-day war with Iran, you asked me, how are the people holding up? And I said to you, our people are strong. Israelis are a nation of lions with unlimited resolve to defend our country and secure our future. The people give strength to our soldiers.
So his usage of lions is messianic.
Yes.
He's picking that animal for a reason.
Yes.
The ashes time and again,
the lion of the tribe of Judah.
The state of Israel and the army of Israel, we pledged never again would be defenseless against our enemies. And that resolute strength not only assures our survival, it assures our future, it assures peace. We have paid
assures
a high price
peace
for this war. Please now understand just how powerful and just how determined Israel is. They understand that attacking Israel on October 7th was a catastrophic mistake. They understand that Israel is strong and that Israel is here to stay. And this, Mr. President, is the indispensable foundation of peace. Peace through strength.
You wonder if this is the end of state-backed proxies, because they've destroyed Hezbollah, and now they've destroyed Hamas.
As the remaining hostages come home.
And the Houthis.
My wife Sarah and I have met with the hostage families many times. There were no words to describe their agony, only tears of bottomless
which were all responses to Israeli expansion, settlement expansion.
Right.
So I wouldn't doubt over the next year or two that we start seeing expansionism and again, which we would be in for. It's their land. But that has always been the issue, was them moving outside of their borders and setting up communities.
They have a phrase, Greater Israel, which includes much of Lebanon, Jordan, southern Syria, etc.
We are fulfilling that promise.
Netanyahu's father wrote the book on Zionism.
It's been a long journey to get here.
And so
in the first week of the war,
he's reading his father's book right now. I mean, out of his lips, you know.
Hamas and the international community put diplomatic pressure on them. This enabled us to secure the release of over 100 hostages. In heroic rescue attempts behind enemy lines, Israel's special forces rescued 8 live hostages and brought back the remains of dozens more. But as time went on, we all know what happened. The diplomatic pressure was turned on its head. more and more governments bought into Hamas's false propaganda. More and more governments succumb to
Right
anti-Semitic
now,
mobs.
they're referring
in
to
their own
England
countries.
and France,
They just turned on
who
Israel.
both
They called for us to
recognized
surrender to Hamas
an
demands,
independent
to
Palestine
Gaza
unilaterally,
immediately, they said,
rewarding
and therefore, without committing to
Hamas's act of
disarm
terrorism.
Hamas, without committing to demilitarize Gaza. Had Israel succumbed to those demands, not only would Sinwar, Nasrallah,
So they're
Assad,
kind of
Iran's
slamming those two nations right now.
missile and nuclear program remained intact.
In fact, Starmer, the British Prime Minister,
Because
has
in no
pretty
time,
much been unseated as of
Hamas
right now,
fighters
just a
would be
week
back
after
on
the
border
speech.
fence, ready to repeat
So
the horrors of
the
He's
Brit-
been a non-player.
again and again.
Well, but he's
as
done.
he vowed to
Yeah.
He's
do.
finished.
But just at
He
that
picked the
point-
wrong side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just at that point of maximum pressure on Israel, a man named Donald J. Trump was elected President of the United States. And ladies and gentlemen, overnight, everything changed. Everything.
Yeah, Sog. In a moment of time,
Yeah.
everything changed.
Mr. President, thanks
But, like,
to your unequivocal backing of Israel,
No other president,
We
no other
secured a
political
second
figure in
hostage
modern
deal
history
within weeks
is
of
being
your
equated
election.
with this
And the
miraculous
months
Right.
followed.
touch and
We
tone.
worked closely together.
And it's
to
good
forge a
currency
path
with Trump to
bring
put
the
down
remaining
Biden.
hostages home and end the war. End the war
Would've never
in a way that
happened.
ensures the disarming of Hamas, the demilitarization of Gaza, and that Gaza would never again pose a threat to Israel. 2 months ago, you fully backed my decision to send the IDF into the last Hamas stronghold in Gaza City. You shared my view that this military pressure would help free the hostages. And despite all the criticism, all the naysayers, we were right. Hamas caved in.
I mean,
2 weeks ago,
it has taken fortitude for them to see it all the way through.
you succeeded in doing something miraculous. You succeeded
Miracle
in doing
worker.
something that no one believed was possible. You brought most of the Arab world. You brought most of the world behind your proposal to free the hostages and end the war. I want to thank Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner.
I mean, he did what Biden, Obama, Bush, Clinton, Bush were unable to do.
Yeah.
Now, here's the interesting part. He's getting credit to Witkoff. This is
There's Kushner.
Netanyahu, and now Kushner's right there. And Kushner is the mysterious figure in all of this thing.
Yeah.
His wife, Ivana Trump, Trump's daughter, converts to Judaism.
Trump's grandkids are Jewish.
Right.
I want to thank our negotiating team. I believe that the close cooperation between the two of us, between our two nations, Israel's military pressure, and President Trump's unmatched global leadership. I have to tell you, I've seen a lot of American presidents. Seen them all. In the time that I've been here, and I've been here quite a long time.
True.
I've never seen anyone move the world so quickly, so decisively, so resolutely as our friend President Donald
Do you
J.
think Trump knows that he's getting smoke blown at him, or do you
I
think
don't think
he's
he minds.
receiving it as
Oh.
worship?
No, look at him. I mean, that was the first,
It's been nearly 3,000 years, and here I am.
right. I mean, he took no joy in him downplaying Hamas because he still needs to negotiate.
Right.
But this part, he's
And
Loves.
President Trump's global leadership, we achieved this historic moment. It's a moment of indescribable joy as our nation embraces our sons who are coming home.
Those were some
Mr.
scenes.
President,
yeah.
I bawled my eyes out watching those families embrace.
Oh yeah,
after
come
this
back
time.
together.
around the
Incredible.
world,
Yeah.
Jews around the world are going to read the book of Ecclesiastes, Kohelet, in the Bible. The Bible has many miraculous moments.
That's what they're on their annual reading right now.
Yep.
One of them was your decision to bomb Fordo I think it was a pivot of history because it wasn't meant only to bomb Fordo. That action and your previous action of taking out Qasem Soleimani, the architect of death, I think that changed the balance of power in the world. You brought America back again to the driver's seat.
Yes. Yes, I did.
Look at him.
Now,
The art of the deal.
Right.
This week, the book of Ecclesiastes. It's not a book of action. It's a book of meditations, of thought, of perspective on life and on death. And in this book, we read the immortal words of King Solomon.
Oh, King Solomon.
To everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven. Et milchama ve'et shalom. A time for peace and a time for war. The last 2 years have been a time of war. The coming years will hopefully be a time for peace.
I mean, just so much peace talk. I mean, this is just so
Around the world.
has so many
Inside
tones to it,
Israel,
and we want peace. We
Right.
pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
outside Israel.
Yeah,
And yet there's more war going on. And the peace
right.
settlements, even he says, are based upon economics. I'm going to tariff you 100% unless you quit your battles.
Right.
That's what he just did between.
Right.
I look forward to
India and
continuing
Pakistan.
marching with you on the path we paved together with the Abraham Accords. Under your leadership, we can forge new peace treaties.
So why we call it the
with
Abraham
Arab
Accords?
countries in the region.
Because Abraham had many sons. Many sons had Father Abraham.
Right.
Not just
Children will work together to
Isaac.
build a better
But
no,
yeah,
no.
Isaac, but Ishmael.
Ishmael, right.
So Arab, Jew,
against
and then of
barbarism,
course they throw the Christian in
Right.
as well.
light against darkness, and hope against despair.
So bringing together
And my friends,
all the sons of Abraham.
that with President Trump's leadership, this will happen a lot faster than people think.
But of course, the prophecy of talking about Ishmael is that
As
he would be a
Prime
wild
Minister of
man.
Israel, I extend my
Every
hand
man's hand will be
to
against him.
all
Right.
those
Yeah.
who seek peace with us. No one wants peace more than the people of Israel.
And so they will accept a false Messiah in order to get it.
And sign a covenant with many.
And sign a covenant
Yeah.
with many.
Always remain full of hope. Hope is our national anthem. Hope is our creed. Hope is our
This last
strength.
day of Tabernacles,
It is time, my
if you
friends,
take
to realize that hope
2,520
and
days,
expand the circle of
ends
peace.
up on Rosh Hashanah of 2032.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Thank you for all
it's amazing.
you've
Yeah.
done for us. I have submitted your nomination to be the first non-Israeli recipient of the Israel Prize, Israel's highest award. As to that other prize, just a question of time, you'll get it. But I want you to get the Israel Prize, our highest award, to our greatest.
Isn't it amazing how unanimous this is? I mean, every country,
No, even Hillary Clinton
right?
came out and recognized this.
But
Yeah.
the Nobel Committee, they're going to have no choice next year.
Right. Can you go from the white horse rider to the red horse
Right.
rider? Like,
When others were
if I-
weak, you were strong. When others were fearful, you were bold. When others abandoned us, you stood by our side.
Messianic
On
terms.
behalf
Yes.
of the government and people of Israel, I thank you for your extraordinary friendship. Thank you for helping bring our hostages home. Thank you for supporting Israel's march to victory. Thank you for paving a path to peace. מכובדי נשיא ארצות הברית, ידידי דונלד, ברוך הבא לישראל, ברוך הבא לירושלים, ברוך הבא ביום המרגש הזה, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
I wish I knew Hebrew.
yeah. was thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you, yeah.
May God bless you and your family, Mr. President. May God bless America. May God bless Israel. And may God bless the covenant between our two promised lands. Thank you, Mr. President.
Covenant.
I know. I'm just saying
With
that.
many.
That was the
Yeah.
crescendo of it all.
Yeah.
The covenant between our two promised lands. Now, first of all, America's not a land of promise.
Right.
But notice what he's doing. Netanyahu is bringing them in. Like we're both promised land. This is manifest destiny.
Yeah.
This is divine order. I mean, this is crazy. You know, the verbiage and the biblical overtones, undertones, everything about this is interwoven.
It used to be hard to hear, and you would get it. You know, you could quote stuff like this over the last 20 years since we've been doing Bible
Right.
Nation Society, but it was there, and this is a crescendo. Like
Yeah.
that was a crescendo moment because it's not only what we've been saying is hinted to, and this quotient is increasing, and the time, you know, the devil knows his time is short,
Right.
And so it's like, you know, putting pressure between your fingers of a watermelon seed. Like sooner or later, it's gonna spit, you know.
Right.
And no matter where anyone is on the eschatological timeline,
Right.
like if you're pre-tribulation rapturist or you don't believe in a rapture,
Right.
everyone agrees we're close to the kingdom.
Right.
This is kingdom stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And so no matter where you are on it, if you know you think we're right or you're wrong or whatever, this is historic stuff. And even if it's just another cycle, even if it's just another pass, the world's ready for this.
Yeah.
The world's ready. They want this, you know, so bad. And in doing it, they bite the apple of peace, saying this is peace, and he is the peacemaker.
Right.
And yet it really isn't
No.
a full peace, and he's not really a full peacemaker. At the same time, over in the Gulf of America, we are currently have troops on the ground in Venezuela.
Yeah.
And so strength, you know, peace through strength. So we have both ends going, and so yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if we'll have time to get into it this episode, but as we watch Netanyahu's speech immediately following, Trump then gives an hour address. What were some of the highlights or some of the key points in that speech that listeners, if they're going to go watch the speech,
Right.
what would you guys have to say
About
that?
Trump?
About Trump's speech? 'Cause it was about an hour long.
Yeah, no, it's long.
It's
and
long.
I think we should do a review video of it,
Yeah.
but we might need to cut it up a little bit
Yeah.
because there is a couple of victory laps. I
Yeah.
think the most pertinent thing to me about it is he kind of pulls back the veil of the roles that Witkoff, but Jared Kushner played in this. And Jared Kushner is the mysterious element behind this. He is really Trump attributes him. He's the intellect behind this. He's the intellectualism. So apparently Witkoff went in and is the relationship maker. So he puts everyone at ease. But when it came down to how we're going to draw the lines, the contract of the covenant, which is illegal, is written like an illegal. It's Jared Kushner that is the architect of this. And so his ties, both in American business and Israeli business and in those two governments, is very uncanny. We haven't had someone that does that before.
And actually, Jared Kushner's father is a Russian. And so it's Russian money, it's American money, it's Trump money,
Right.
and it's Kushner money. And the amazing thing is the Black Hat Jews, the very Hasidic Orthodox Jews, many of them are what they called Lubavitchers. And they believe that Rabbi Lubavitch from Brooklyn, New York,
Yep.
of all things, was the Messiah. And the Rebbe, they call him the Lubavitcher, he actually spoke to Netanyahu 25 years ago when Netanyahu was first elected into the Knesset, before he was prime minister, but he was running. And he told Netanyahu, you're the one. This is all going to line up under you. You have to do this. And, of course, then he dies, and now they're waiting for the next messianic figure. Well, Kushner is part of that sect. He is part of the Black Hat sect, even though he doesn't wear the black hat. But his father was, and he is a very conservative man, is a very family man, wants to undo some of the sins of his father, et cetera, wants to separate himself from some of Trump's other sides,
The salacious side.
his salacious sides, and he very much is tied to the money that is coming from the conservative Israeli side.
Right.
And so he's a very secretive, behind-the-scene, backdoor player that is connected financially, politically, spiritually,
But
as perhaps
Right.
the replacement of the Rebbe,
right.
as far as this messianic figure in the Jewish mind. And so I think Trump knows that to an extent. I'm sure Netanyahu knows that. Kushner would play it down. He doesn't say it, but he's just that, that
Behind the scenes.
behind the scenes kind of
Right.
guy. And so all this speech, the Antichrist quotient's going up, and you think, man, is this an Antichrist false prophet? And they're making this false peace, and all the while, Jared Kushner sitting there.
And for our listeners who aren't familiar with our thesis on this, the Antichrist quotient is the Bible gives us descriptors of what the personality and the character of the Antichrist. And so when we lay world figures up against them, they have a higher quotient. We're not saying that they are the Antichrist, but John said there's going to be many Antichrists, and there's Antichrist personalities. But there is, because we understand there will eventually soon be the full embodiment of a human being as the Antichrist that will meet all the characteristics 100%. His quotient will be 100.
So the overall quotient by somebody is being increased, and people are more and more willing to accept it and hail it in these messianic perspectives and words, which you and I would say, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't receive that. And yet we have people who both would say it and receive it. And that's just like, it's in the air. You can taste it.
We've always, and the Antichrist is a person with a personality, but we could also attribute a certain Antichrist reception quotient to Israel right now.
Yeah.
And this is probably in our lifetime the most we've seen them primed, ready, willing, and all the pieces put together to accept a global leader. I mean, that was just bowing down to Trump.
Right.
I mean, so little brother, big brother.
Yeah.
I mean, you are this global leader that we kind of get behind that is now also has all this influence in the Arab world.
Amazing.
And so the Arab world is getting behind Trump because they're like, we want money. And
We don't want to be left behind.
we don't want to be left behind.
We don't want to get flanked by their relationship with Israel.
And so Trump is basically aligning the Arab world against Russia and China. He's got India back in the fold. So they're not buying Russian natural resources, gas and oil. And so you talk about, Russia is about to be a starved bear that has to act out violently for its own survival.
Right.
Because it's about to be starved. Russia is on the brink of not being able to feed its people if it cannot sell oil.
And amazingly, it might serve Putin to go into a losing war with NATO or whoever in order to preserve his flanks against China, number one, and against those in his own party and his own country.
Right. Yep.
In other words, being at war might let him live another day,
Right.
sort of thing, because he is very wealthy.
Yep.
He that southern Sochi area on the
No, that belongs
southern
that
coast.
belongs to the state.
Yeah,
That's the people's house.
yeah, that's right.
Everyone.
So it's interesting how it all kind of goes together, and then this grand peace thing comes forward at this particular time that lines up with the Hebrew feasts. That even though we're very aware of it and we're
Right.
wary of it, at the same time it's undeniable the miraculous tone, and to watch those hostages come into their parents' arms and their wives' arms, you'd have to be some kind of cold to not tear up.
Right.
Watching that, because it truly is a beautiful thing, not staged, just a real thing, but almost taken advantage of maybe, by the powers that be to prop up whoever's trying to do what. And I mean, this, sometimes they're saying this is a great real estate deal to get some Mediterranean waterfront, but it's funny because many people would admire that and say, yeah, that's fantastic business.
Well, you gotta believe the Saudis and them are drooling over this property.
Right.
I mean, what they've done to Abu Dhabi and
Yep.
Dubai and whatnot. I mean,
And still, that might be their best bet to get an oil pipeline right into the Mediterranean and skipping the Red Sea, skipping the Strait of Hormuz, skipping the Arab Gulf, and take it right from the Saudi coast right across Sharm el Sheikh and right up into that I think is part of the design, is that's going to bring oil right into Europe, and they don't need to buy from Russia.
Yeah.
And that it'll be a direct pipeline to the West.
And Russia cannot allow that to happen.
Right.
There's no world that Russia exists in that they are not a major exporter of oil.
And so it's peace, 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 and we hail it, but at the same time, there's really not a peace. No. Jesus will bring peace.
Right.
But he will bring it, the blood will run bridle high to bring the peace.
Right.
And so all this is another chess piece going. But it's amazing right now, we're like, how many more moves are there? There's only a couple pieces left on the board.
Right.
And the initiative is going one way. How close are we?
Yeah. No, it's exciting. I mean, we see these things unfolding, and just to hear the tones of that conversation, and just phrases that we wouldn't normally have heard before are becoming common vernacular.
And everyone's receiving it. I mean, every party, both sides, every country. It's like the first time I've really been amazed. There's blinders on people's eyes because everyone is falling for the same rhetoric unless you read your Bible.
Right.
If you read the Bible, you're all of a sudden now you're the enemy because you're like going, wait a minute, or yes, but, and that kind of puts you as the odd man out night. Jackson?
So this is just my personal question as the editor. I'm going to throw this one in there. So often there's the picture of the world leaders with the puppet strings. Like, who's really pulling them? With Trump, it's hard to believe anybody because he's just so sporadic.
Right.
And self-interested, it's like, no, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I mean, it's almost hard to believe anybody could rein in,
he's a bucking bronco that can't be ridden. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But with Netanyahu, you almost get the idea that he is the guy. Like, do you think that there is are there powers that be over Netanyahu? Or is Netanyahu kind of more than other world leaders?
Well,
like
if Epstein was in Israel's employ, then that could be a puppet string sort of thing. And that's been said for a long time.
Which way would it have gone? Would it have been Netanyahu's? Would somebody like that have been an operative of Netanyahu, or would Netanyahu have had to kneel to that? Like, is Netanyahu the guy in Israel?
Oh, like, is he the puppet master?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jared Kushner is.
Yeah.
Jared Kushner is the puppet master. Well, Netanyahu's very Churchillian.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's of anybody in our generation. He is very Churchillian. And Churchill was very much a string puller, even of royalty. Yeah. And so I think Netanyahu does pull strings, and I think he uses everything he went to MIT. Yeah. It's all mathematical. Plus, he was a warrior. Plus, his dad was the Zionist, wrote the textbook on it. Yeah. And so he's not the international Jew that's against national Judaism. He is the national representation of Judaism who doesn't mind having international power. It's like he's had to fight his own base in order to get where he's at. So are there secret graves that Netanyahu knows about? Absolutely. So I wouldn't deny that he might have his own morality that makes things fly.
Yeah, they were trying to Russian collusion and influence in our elections. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about Russia influence. It's Israeli influence. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there was almost a line there. I mean, he all but gave away, when any crime, you have to first find the motive. I mean, when he says, the day you were elected, everything changed for us. I'm like, talk about motive for an election.
Like,
Yeah.
Because
the day we got you elected. I mean, the day you were elected.
The day we got you. Whoops.
Wait
Slip.
Yeah. Right.
It's funny. But I think we can, in application, like final word is, I think we can truly rejoice in the human drama of these people going back.
Oh, yeah.
I think we can rejoice in the Shiite branch of Islam lined up through Iran in the whole arena being really utterly defeated. Their final move can only be a nuclear, biological, terrorist move. That's all that they got left by some desperate, system, which can't really win everything. It can only, fruit basket upset is all they got. That's all they got now. And so I think, overall, it's like the day the Berlin Wall fell, and the Cold War was won. I think they feel that in Israel. I think we can rejoice in that as Americans, that we're on the right side of the issue, and then that we're set up for whatever's next, whether it's NATO or Venezuela or whatever's next. So, I mean, I feel the patriotic thump in myself, that, and as a Christian Baptist and evangelical, that, that our alignment with Israel is good. But yet there are other voices saying, well, we can't let Israel pull us by the nose.
Right.
We can't let Israel do that. And I agree with that too.
Right.
We can support them, but that doesn't mean they're always right.
We're a sovereign nation that's to align with them, but not to be controlled by them.
I'm not even for America right or wrong. I'm not that. America needs to be right. And when it's wrong, we need to call it as wrong. So I'm certainly not as Israel right or wrong.
Right.
Now, God knows, and the devil gets a say. So he's at play here as well. And the reason we're kind of commenting on it is because we're saying, here's the things that are biblical that God said, but listen to what's being said. The devil is having his little piece here as well for what's next. And so what's next is something that we'll have a perspective on as well.
Right. Yeah, because obviously our perspective is that the true peace of Jerusalem is going to be ushered in by the return of the Lord Jesus Christ.
Yes.
So this is the maturations of a coming false peace.
Yes.
Preceding real peace will be a false peace, and so that's why we take note of it.
The start of Daniel's 70th week, the 7-year tribulation period, is clearly in Scripture marked by a covenant with many.
Right.
A false peace. There's a personage and identity that is the Antichrist that's tied in with that.
Right.
And so we're 7 years away from Jesus coming, and this sure does feel like something of that nature is either being put down or the foundation's being laid. And so, the Bible says, when this is all around you, look up.
Right.
For your redemption draweth nigh. And so we who are pre-tribulation rapturous, we're not afraid, but I feel it in my heart thump, every day. But, this should be something that makes us awake to that. It's just one step closer. Hallelujah.
Yeah. Even so, Lord Jesus, come quickly.
Well, all right. Thank you for listening to the Bible Nation podcast today. We appreciate Pastor Jason Georges and Jackson Levesque, and we'll be back as soon as we can. Remember, the best culture is a Bible culture. It's proven, and it works.